Well, of course, Avengers Doomsday is coming. It's the Super Bowl this year in the world of movies. That's what everybody's looking forward to. And we're only getting more excited about it now because apparently it's going to be one half of Doomsday, which now even the stars of the movies are coming out and starting to call it that. And, you know, I've got it. We're going to do something tomorrow. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But, you know, they have embarked on this very unique marketing campaign where they, and I'm 100% convinced of this, they, Marvel, would leak the little teaser, the Steve Rogers teaser, then put it in theaters and then put it on YouTube. And then they leaked the Thor one that then went into theaters and went on YouTube. And then they leaked the X-Men one that then went into theaters and went on YouTube. And then they ended up with the Wakandan and Fantastic Four one, which they themselves leaked, I believe 100%, and then put in theaters and put online. Well, according to a new story, those little character teasers have now generated over 1 billion views. Hollywood Reporter writes this: pirated versions of the teasers appeared online early, and Marvel was well aware that once something is in a theater, it's impossible to stop someone from recording it with a smartphone. But that did not dampen enthusiasm. According to insiders, the social volume was for each teaser was on average 188% greater than that for a typical Marvel trailer drop, and the combined 4 teasers now top the highest views for Marvel trailer launches on Instagram, 505 million, and TikTok, 103 million views. They also spawned 16 owned organic trends on X, including Doomsday, Steve Rogers, Thor, X-Men, Wakanda. So each one of these little things was exponentially bigger than the typical Marvel trailer drop, combined for over 1 billion views. And Rob, I think something very interesting is here that goes to a larger conversation. We've often had people ask, oh, if you find out about a movie, you don't want to see the movie anymore. That's not true. And here's the thing. All these numbers does not count the number of times the leaked versions were viewed. These numbers do not count the number of times they were viewed in theaters. These numbers are only reflective of when they actually took the official version of it and put it online for people to view. And that kind of goes against what has been the traditional way of thinking that, well, if people watch the pirated version, then they won't watch the real one when it comes out. Or if people already see it in theaters, then they won't watch it. Turns out that's not true at all. It only got people more excited to watch the clear 4K version of it once it dropped online. And I thought that was fascinating. And Rob, I am telling you this now. I am a year out. Again, my final predictions I reserved till we're a month away from the movie coming out. Wait, ask me again in November. But my thoughts about Doomsday not being a $2 billion film, rather being a very good, very successful $1.5 billion film, I'm starting to having to second guess it. Because this thing is still a year away. And these only the X-Men one was really good. The other ones were all interesting, but only the X-Men one was really good. And yet combined over 1 billion views, higher view ratios than other Marvel film stuff does. And we're still a freaking year away from the movie. And then we got a trailer coming in February when we get to the Super Bowl.
We think.
And by the way, that one won't leak. I'm telling you right now, that one won't leak.
No.
Marvel won't leak it. They leaked the other ones. I'm still convinced of it. So Rob, these numbers are staggering, and they are really making me second guess the chances of this film being because remember, I thought Secret Wars, all bets are off. That Secret Wars could be 2.5 billion, 3 billion, whatever. I just thought they needed to rebuild some foundation here for it. But man, looking at numbers like this, new information gets introduced. We reevaluate what we think. And this is making me reevaluate what I think. What's your biggest takeaway from all these numbers and the data and everything that's being thrown at us? And what are you taking away from this?
Well, we live sometimes in our little movie sphere bubble, our movie pundit space, and really it's usually detached from the reality of the world. And the fact is, you have to remember that a lot of people who like to go to movies as a recreational activity are not at home obsessing over every minor detail of these films coming out. They just want to go see a good movie. And as you've pointed out many times, the 4 Avengers movies Marvel has made have not lost. They've all hit. The least amount of money is what, 1.5 billion or something, 1.4 for
1.4, 1.3. That's the lowest.
That's the lowest. Yeah. And then you're going to one of the 2 of the highest grossing films of all time. And you got the Russo brothers, and you have Marvel working in tandem. And by the way, Marvel has to be on their best behavior on this one. Like, they've got a lot to answer for. They have a lot on the line, and they ain't going to fail. Like, I can tell you right now, and you can too, they're not going to fail. And the thing is, to see all these numbers proves that the audience, the world, loves these movies. They love these movies. Most of the world's not going, it's going to suck. I don't like Phases 5, 6, and 7, or whatever the hell, 4, 5, and 6. They don't care. Nobody's talking about that. And you know what? They don't sit there and go, Steve Rogers, old man Steve, we haven't seen him since the end of Endgame. They don't care. They're like, there's Steve Rogers again. I love Steve Rogers. I can't wait to go see it. And the X-Men? Wow, the X-Men Unleashed. I remember when the X-Men were good in Logan and Days of Future Past and X2 and the first X-Men or whatever. They're the X-Men. It's Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart. I'm going to go. There is no one, the rest of the world, is not going, it's going to suck. They're not saying that. We know for a fact that it's not going to suck. I know for a fact that this movie is going to be the equivalent of me having a mountain of cocaine if I was 8 years old, and what my head would do if I had that happen to me. I know it's going to be like that. I don't know what it would happen, but I would sure feel damn good. This movie is going to provide that. And I think Marvel knows it. The Russo brothers know it. The actors know it because Channing Tatum has said, flat out, he said on talk shows, you aren't ready. You aren't ready. He's come out and said it. Gambit himself has said you're not ready. He talks about what it was like to be on the set like he was, but seeing, he explains when we first saw Wolverine in costume and stuff. And even Hugh Jackman talks about when him and Ryan Reynolds walked out in Deadpool and Wolverine and how the crew responded. He tells the story of some crew member who first saw him started crying on set. People love the X-Men too. I love the X-Men. So if we're seeing the X-Men come back, and we're seeing them with the Wakandans and with Fantastic Four, because Fantastic Four, remember, I thought First Steps was good. First Steps was good the way Captain America, the First Avenger, was good. Winter Soldier was way better. This movie's going to deliver, man. It's going to roll up, and it's going to punch you in the face with awesomeness.
I have something I haven't told you yet.
Oh.
So Ann and I were off on our trip to Denver to go watch the Broncos-Bills game. I heard from somebody in the movie.
Oh.
Whose name was not Ryan Reynolds, by the way. Every time I mention anything, everybody assumes it's Ryan Reynolds. It was not Ryan Reynolds.
We talked to other people.
I talked to somebody in the movie who basically was this. And by the way, don't worry. I'm not, this isn't a spoiler. This isn't a spoiler. Don't worry. You don't have to rush for your mute button here. Okay. Rob, I don't know if you would agree with this or not. I would say that the most action-filled Marvel movie is probably Civil War. That would probably, if I had to sit and guess about it and think about it, I would probably say Civil War. I mean, the best action was Shang-Chi, but I'd probably guess
you're talking, but I would say in terms of scope,
sheer amount and overall action,
you're talking about,
right?
because I would say, so because there's a lot of action. It's not like armies fighting each other, but there's great action set pieces.
Some people saying Infinity War definitely has a good.
That has big stuff.
Yep.
Big.
What this person indicated to me was the sheer volume of action.
Oh,
is going to eclipse everything else Marvel's ever done alone. And that jives with what we know, but you never know how it's actually going to play out on screen. But yeah, what they indicated to me was the sheer amount and volume of action in this thing when you're talking in terms of minutes on screen and scope, is going to blow away everything Marvel's ever done.
Oh, well,
And
that's
so I'm like,
no. The thing is, that's one of the things I've explained to people. I'm like, I honestly don't know how some of the stuff that's in this movie is going to be accomplished. I have no idea. Even from the opening, what could be the opening.
by the way, can I go on record again? No spoiler, no spoilers,
Yeah.
no spoilers. I think the greatest comic book movie opening, well, the two greatest comic book movie openings ever are X-Men 2 with Nightcrawler attacking the White House, and Batman versus Superman with Bruce Wayne in Gotham as the battle between Zod and Superman is destroying Gotham. I think those are the two greatest openings of comic book movies ever. It all depends on how it executes. I think the opening sequence of Doomsday is going to eclipse those. I really do.
People are going to lose their
People are
fucking
going to
minds.
lose their minds.
I mean, that's the funniest thing about this movie is it just comes out and plants a flag. And but okay, I would even go like I'm looking forward to even something happens before that. It's just a quick little thing throwaway, but I just want to see how are they going to do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, or these movies are iterative, so they could. I mean, they might come up with something that I know nothing about that is the akin to the opening sequence of Endgame with Hawkeye. Like that's something that I never would have considered.
Oh, it was such a beautiful way to open that movie.
It was.
That's not the way they're going with Doomsday, though.
No, well, but what I'm saying is they might come up with something like that we don't. Not even you and I have any inkling of, because these movies are iterative. They're constantly changing them and plussing them. But even that, like, I don't know, because I thought the way they opened that movie and then Mr. Fantasy plays over the Marvel logo is in terms of genre cinema, in terms of a franchise picture, that was one of the cleverest, greatest ways to open that film. I've always wanted to ask Kevin Feige. I've never met Kevin Feige. I've talked to him. I'm like, was that planned? Or did you come up with that later? Because that was so genius to open the movie that way, coming off of Infinity War. And that's why I think that, because not only they've had the time, this movie was pushed back a whole year. So they've had, or even more, because it was supposed to come out like last May, wasn't it?
No, not last May. It was supposed to come out, I believe, earlier this year. I think it was only supposed to come out a few months before Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yeah, but that makes sense. So they pushed back further.
Yeah.
So they've had the time to work it. And again, I'm deliriously excited to see this movie.
Yeah, and again, listen, this movie does not open with. There are many fabulous movies that start with these slow building openings and build to something. This movie starts with its foot through the floor, and shoots you like a cannon out of the gate. And it's going to be a pretty impressive way they do that. But what is shocking to me, though, getting back to the billion views and all this kind of stuff, that despite all these truisms, that Marvel has been shaky the last few years, kind of hit and miss, that the general overall enthusiasm for Marvel product is it's not low, but it's lower than maybe it's ever been since the MCU started. Yet despite all of that, the moment a 3-second scene of Steve holding a baby hits online and a couple of others to go along with it, 1 billion views, a year away, and they've got a year of marketing to build enthusiasm and a Spider-Man movie coming out to build enthusiasm. And I'm starting to wonder, how much of a fevered pitch are we going to be at by the time we hit October and November?
I think you're absolutely right. It shows, what's great about these things? What the Marvel Cinematic Universe did so well is it made us care about these characters. And if you look at Endgame as an example, it opens with a bucolic scene with Hawkeye and his kids showing his daughter how to fire arrows.
Yeah.
That's how that movie opens on the heel of, and then there's a great, in Endgame, you see Captain America, like at a veterans group, talking about how are you guys doing. They spend time in the movie, that great scene with Natasha and Steve when he walks in and she goes, "Are you here to do your laundry?" Which is a callback to Winter Soldier. And then he sits down and he talks to her, and they spend time making you like these characters.
Yeah.
And I think
it also was world building for where the world was at that time.
They do a very good job. And I will say this, Doomsday does not abandon that either. And I think that that's the key to making these movies work. And when you forget that, woe be is to you. I don't even think that's a real expression. I just made that up. It doesn't work. Not woe be is to you. What am I saying? But I think that that's the key to these franchises, is that you make people. That's why Iron Man was so successful. It wasn't about Iron Man. You loved Tony Stark, who just happens to be Iron Man.
Yep.
If it was just a movie where Iron Man was Iron Man, it wouldn't work.
You got to love the characters, which, quick side note, is part of the reason why I absolutely love the first episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. That's a total side note.
Oh,
anyway,
good.
We're already running overtime here, guys. The question is for you. What do you think about this? The trailers for this Doomsday thing, a movie that's a year away, these aren't even full fleshed out trailers. Over 1 billion views with viewership ratios higher than other Marvel things by a lot. And we still got a first real trailer coming. How big can this movie be? Whatever you guys think about it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.